doesn't pass the Diddy Kong barrier.
I feel like Diddy Kong is just the gatekeeper right now.
Scientists call this the Diddy Kong threshold, dude, and unfortunately Jak and Daxter do not hit the Diddy Kong threshold. This is going to be the most hated episode of the podcast yet. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. One of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me as always are my good friends Kyle.
Hello.
And Hunter. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
How we feeling, guys? We're in the game, the smallest game drought of the year, it seems, because you know we've got a month until games are out, and then after that it's the wilderness years. But you know, how you doing? How you feling?
Keep
hang it in there.
Occupied.
Yeah.
Rise of the Ronin is silly long, so you know.
You've got something to do. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, obviously, because obviously earlier this week we recorded the mammoth Final Fantasy VII Rebirth spoiler cast.
Good lord, dude. I think I'm still recovering from that.
Oh, trust me, I think I'm still recovering from it. I've had a massive headache today. I've not been feeling great all week, and I'm like, damn, that really took a toll on me, which I didn't think it did until like I woke up the next day. I was like, oh my gosh, that was a mammoth task, but we did it. It's out on podcast services and on YouTube if you want to go and check it out. Oh gosh, my voice is giving up as we speak. With Dill Wingo. It's great. I loved it. It was a great episode, but man,
Oh yeah.
was it long? Yes. Will we ever probably beat that? I don't think so. It will take
Not for free.
Not until Rebirth Part 3.
Not for a while at least. That's for sure. But we're not here to talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because we have talked enough about that game now. In fact, we are putting a ban on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
We've met our quota for the
for
year.
at least a couple of months. So if you do want to go and see our full thoughts on that, congratulations. There's 4.5 hours of it. It is up on YouTube. It is up on podcast services. Go and check it out. There's timestamps if you just want to see certain sections, certain chapters. Go for it. Trust me, there's literally like 20 timestamps. You're good. You can find the bit that you want.
One for every chapter.
Basically, yeah. So yeah, that's all out now. This
If
week,
you forgot the chapters, they're even labeled with what the content is.
not the name of the chapter, just what we talked about, you know?
Yeah.
So even better than the game. This week, though, we're doing something a tiny bit different. We are doing another tier list, ladies and gentlemen. I know you've missed him. It's been a good 2 months.
Woo!
That one guy in the comments who was really pissed at the last one is already here. He's shaking his fist. He thought that he'd scared us all.
Nothing says game drought like tier lists.
Well, it's that or the
Join us
3x3s.
again in June.
Yeah, we did it last week. We did a 3x3 last week, so we've got to draw off the other well that we have that was already running dry. We decided that we were going to do a tier list of the best platform or gaming mascots. So we have got an epic tier list here of over 40 gaming mascots here, and we're going to rank every single one of them. Will we learn from our lesson and rank terrible ones that we don't even know about anywhere on the list anyway? We'll find out in a bit, I guess, so stay tuned.
At least in this case, you know, not knowing about a mascot speaks to how effective they are as a mascot.
You know, you've got a good point, but it won't stop someone from complaining down below. Remember, if we butchered your favourite mascot, do let us know, because we really want to hear it.
Comment for the algorithm.
Please do. Leave that dislike, because it helps us more than not. Oh, I hate being salty, but genuinely, podcast listeners, you don't understand how salty some people have been. I thought the tier list would be controversial at times. It turns out these are the most controversial episodes, and it's not because we rate something too highly. It's always because we do something dumb, which I think's the best thing to do. But oh well, we'll carry
at least,
on, I guess.
you know, it's better a public comment than being privately contacted about how you didn't like Princess Peach Showtime.
Yeah, that's fun. But you know, at least it was a realistic opinion. Anyway, let's look at this tier list. Here we are. We have got plenty of tiers. We've got 7 tiers here to put stuff into.
Oh man.
We have got top tier is God tier. Then we've got great. Then we've got pretty cool. Then we've got they're all right. Then we've got obscure, literally who, and I don't know you, dude. I really don't know who you are. Why are you in this list? We did not make this list, so some characters are on here twice. Will we rank them twice? Probably. We need the watch time. Make sure you watch both. It's very important. Some of them make sense, right? Because you got like 3D Pac-Man and 2D Pac-Man. They are two fundamentally different
Yeah.
game types, right? But then you've got like, what was it? Two
Lara
of you got like,
Croft,
yeah, two Lara Crofts or two
to
like
Rayman.
two Rayman. Like that's dumb. But you know, we'll see what happens. What's the worst that could happen, right? Timestamps below if you want to see your favorite. But why not stick with us? Because trust me, I think it's going to be a pretty interesting discussion. I assume we're going alphabetically, which starts us
Wow.
off with everybody's favorite gaming mascot, the Angry Bird. Which, to be fair, I think Angry Birds is probably the mascot of mobile games because it was like the
Yeah.
first big blow up like mobile game, right? The only other ones I can think of is whatever the cut the rope little monster thing is.
A little
yeah.
crocodile.
That
Yeah, like
little dude.
Omnom or something was his name. I can't remember what his name was. I think it was like Omnom. But
I think you're right.
you know, it's like them or Red, the Angry Bird. Unfortunately, it's not the movie variant. That's even uglier.
Yeah, you were right, Ethan.
Is
Good
it
job.
Omnom? Of course, I can't remember names to characters to games that I really like that I'm talking about in a first impressions, but I can remember the name of the monster from Cut the Rope because, of course, I can.
You know,
Um,
iconic
iconic.
characters.
Why is he not in this list? He'd be up in the god tier, dude. I remember his name. How are we feeling? Right. Does anyone have a history with Angry Birds? Because I kind of vibed with Angry Birds when it came out originally.
Yeah,
I
mean,
take it from my
I played
friends
it.
who had phones during downtime at school sometime.
yeah, pretty much.
But, it's never like, oh, gotta
See, I
play that
never-
Angry Birds.
I never vibed too much with the original. Like, I thought it was fine. But then there was Angry Birds Space, which had, like, all the gravity mechanics and stuff like that. And it had a PC version. Like, it was, yeah, legit. It had, like, an actual PC version. And so a load of YouTubers around the time were making, like, Angry Birds videos.
Mhm.
And
Shocking.
and I was like, I was watching people play Angry Birds Space. I'm like, this actually looks pretty cool. So I downloaded it on my iPod Touch back in the day. And I loved that game. It was really fun. There is a kind of beauty to the simplicity of old iOS games like Cut the Rope, like Angry Birds,
Yeah.
like Temple Run, where it was just addictive small gameplay loops that just kind of worked. Whereas now it just feels like everything has to be like a gacha game or something that takes up 20 bajillion years of your life. I think the Angry Bird is pretty iconic, dude. I think Red the Angry Bird pretty iconic in terms of gaming mascots.
I think if we were doing this to list 10 years in the past, I would
Yeah.
put it up at the top. But
Yes,
I feel like nowadays they've kind of fallen out of relevance.
I agree. But I would still put it in like I'd go for like pretty cool. That's where I would go. It's
Yeah.
like I feel like
That's about as low as I'd go.
that's where I would. Hunter, where are you feeling?
Pretty cool. All right. One of those.
Kyle, so you were saying that was the lowest you'd go, so I guess that's where we're going. I assume.
Yeah.
We'll go with pretty cool. Okay, Red the Angry Bird. Half your face has been cut off, but you're pretty cool.
He's missing like a chunk of his eyebrow there.
He is, but you know he'll just have to live with the
The
repercussions.
disgruntled bird.
Yeah. There we go. One done. It's just as quick as that, guys. This is rapid fire. Next up, Banjo and Kazooie. Controversial take. I feel like there's two camps to Banjo and Kazooie.
Yep.
I think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. God tier. Get them up the top. Rest in peace, Rare. Whatever happened to you? And they had their time. Let them rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been of the let them rest kind of spiel, really, because
Me
it's
too.
like Rare. I'm sorry to say this, Banjo fans. Rare is never gonna make another Banjo Kazooie game. They're just never going to do it. So it's down to like somebody else making a Banjo game, or nobody ever making a Banjo game. And I feel like it's gonna lean towards nobody because I feel like they would have found somebody if someone was offering already. Like I feel like.
I'm telling you, dude, that's what Toys for Bob is for.
They're not making Banjo. That's the thing, though. Is
Yeah. Shut up, Spyro fan.
well, here's the thing.
Spyrocopium over here.
I think here's the thing: is I genuinely think, and I say this with like the utmost, other than like a Banjo remake, if they remade Banjo 1,
Mm-hmm.
I
That'd be
don't
good.
see them making a new Banjo game because it's like Crash and Spyro sold over 10 million units. Would a Banjo remake do that? Especially if it was because it's Xbox owned IP, it'd be an Xbox exclusive, you'd assume. I don't think
Well,
it would
for
hit
a
that
year,
much.
and then
Yeah,
they'd be
for a
like, "Ah,
year.
let him out of the mines."
And then maybe he'll do
Then
better
throw
on
it on a
Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo game.
Maybe.
On the new Nintendo Switch, yeah.
Yeah. But
Where
no.
all the old heads who like Banjo live.
I think Toys for Bob just isn't. People just saw them as they're the platforming studio and just like give it to them. And I'm like, I don't think Toys for Bob. They've always been a Spyro studio since Skylanders. Like they brought back Spyro for Skylanders, and then they made Crash. And I think it's like, I don't know if they'd go for Banjo, at least without doing Crash or Spyro first. It just feels like it's a weird, just like Xbox fans think because they bought a platforming studio, they're gonna make a platforming game. I don't know. It seems weird. Like it seems weird to me when I feel like Crash and Spyro have got more kind of weight to them in 2024 because they've had remakes and remasters and sequels, whereas Banjo has literally been dead since Nuts and
Banjo
Bolts.
was in Smash Brothers.
Dude,
True. It wasn't Master Chief, guys. I think they're all right. They're not obscure because they were in Smash
Yeah.
Bros. I think they're all right. But I genuinely, like, if I showed my... Here's the thing, right? If I showed my mom an Angry Bird, she'd probably know what an Angry Bird is. If I showed a Banjo Kazooie, she'd be like, who the fuck is that? And if I went there in Smash Bros, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't... Like,
Yeah.
it just... I think they're all right. I don't know.
I'd agree with that.
Hunter, any
Yeah,
disagreements?
All right, it's fine.
I feel like, yeah, we'll stick them in all right for now. I feel like they could have a good game, though. I think someone could make a good Banjo game. They just
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
if they did it. I think they could.
Yeah.
I think Banjo would be great for a remake. I feel like if anyone else owned Banjo, they would have seized this opportunity already, to be honest. I think it'd be a great idea. He is hoping that... I'm hoping, because like Yooka-Laylee 2 has been in development for 5 years. Like, they've been spending a long time on that game, Platonic. I'm hoping that they come out with like just a fucking banger, because their 2D Yooka-Laylee game was an absolute banger. So I'm just hoping. Give it them. Why the fuck have they not? Why the fuck has Xbox not been in contact with them? They're basically just the
Honestly,
people that made
that's just,
Banjo
they just
Kazooie.
wanted.
Why the hell?
They're like, we just want to make something that was like Banjo and Kazooie. Why not just let them
Just
make
give 'em the
another
IP.
Banjo
Yeah.
Kazooie?
Yeah, it's so
It'd
weird.
be different if they were trying to do something completely different, but
They haven't. They just wanted
yeah,
to do Banjo
the
Kazooie.
ukulele was Banjo and Kazooie, but not, and people didn't like it for it.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it enough, but it was like 2 really good worlds and 3 mediocre ones. So it's like, yeah. Hopefully Ukulele 2's a bit better. Blinx the Cat. Right, you two had to fucking look up who Blinx the Cat was before we started.
Yeah, I
so
don't know
feel
who
like
this
we know where he's
jabroni with the
going.
goggles is.
Basically,
It's the case of I had seen it before, but I couldn't place what the hell it was.
Xbox launch, basically, it was what Xbox was thinking would be their mascot. I think everybody knows that the original Xbox didn't make many good decisions. They thought Blinx the Cat would be a good mascot. They also had a choice between Psychonauts and that other zombie game. I can't remember what's the name of that game. The zombie.
Stubbs the zombie.
Stubbs the Zombie. They had a choice of which one to keep and which one to throw away, and they threw away Psychonauts and because they thought Stubbs is going to be the hero. Like, I feel like they just made so many shit decisions at Xbox at the start, especially because they
They
bought
look
Double
like
Fine in the
they
end.
would be if Conker ever got a sequel, they look like they would be Conker's spunky, youthful sidekick.
Yeah,
That or a rival character, I could see either.
Yeah, see what I mean?
I would genuinely struggle to put them higher than literally who, dude. Like, I genuinely would struggle to put them higher than that. And it's like, do I do them the disservice of going literally bottom tier? I don't know, because you two literally did not know, like, who he was.
I don't know them.
I'd
Yeah.
put it there.
Like, I'm willing to be nicer. I don't know him, but if you did, then it's 1 out of 3. There's a lot of people I don't know.
Fair enough then. Things can change. Shall we put him in literally who for now then? And we'll see.
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, let's do that then. Next up, Bomberman. not even good enough for Smash Bros. You know what I mean, guys? Like, he got an assist trophy in the
Stuck
launch
as an
trailer
assist
for
trophy.
Ultimate. Like, that was so mean. Everyone is here except for Bomberman. He's an assist trophy. Like, my god, what did my homie do to deserve this? Has anyone ever played Bomberman? Just out of curiosity, I feel like it was before our time.
I played
so...
one of them for a little bit one time, like one of the classic ones. I don't remember what context under either.
Was it the Switch launch one? Or
No, it was one of the
Oh.
like old ones.
Like
It
the-
was,
Was it the N64 one, or
I don't remember.
was it in
That's
3
the problem.
dimensions?
No, that one
Okay.
was weird, and he didn't look like this. But I think Bomberman is probably going in the obscure slot
Yeah.
there.
I
'cause, like,
agree. I think
People
it's
like us, no, but
I think it's solely because, like, here's the thing, right? Is if you grew up in the 80s, you probably knew Bomberman and you probably liked him. Literally anybody born in the 90s or onwards has no fucking clue who he is, other than he shows up in Smash Bros. And he's like,
Thanks, Konami.
there's a couple of like Super Bomberman R on Nintendo Switch. If you had a Switch at launch and you needed a third game to buy after Breath of the Wild and Snipper Clips, then you may have gone for that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
fourth game even, because Fast RMX, you know, there was very few games on the Switch, so you could have picked it up, but I never did. But no, I think Obscure's a good place for him. Captain Falcon, F-Zero.
All right, hear
Here's
me
the
out.
thing. Yeah, go on, Kyle. Go on, Kyle.
Captain Falcon, the Smash Bros character, god tier. That is the face of Smash Bros.
Okay.
Captain
calm your
Falcon, the
cap,
F-Zero character. Bro, who the fuck even is this?
Okay,
I don't know if we even saw him until.
I
Like,
think he
F-Zero
rises to
GX.
their alright maximum from Smash Bros.
Yeah.
If we're going from based off of just F-Zero, straight into Obscure. Like,
Yeah.
straight into Obscure if we're basing it just off F-Zero. I don't know. Hunter, how are you feeling on Captain Falcon?
people still really like him a lot despite his series dying with the GameCube. So I feel like he deserves to get the alright tier at least.
It's because he's in Smash, though. Smash keeps him
Legit.
alive.
Yeah, but you know, he's
If it
in
wasn't
Smash
for
so
his
much that
hype.
people are like, bring his series back.
Like, I know we are, like, I know eventually one of the future podcast ideas that we have, we're waiting for Switch 2 to properly be a thing, ladies and gentlemen, before we do this, is we want to do like a big cut of the Smash Bros roster where we decide who gets to stay and who goes, because I think we're all of the agreement that Smash cannot keep this many characters going forward. They will have to cut some.
Go for 100 cowards.
Unless they just port Ultimate again, which, if I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if this is a controversial take. I'd rather that they reinvented the wheel and we got something completely different with a smaller roster than they just do Ultimate again. Because Ultimate felt like an extension of 4 to me, and I'm like, I'd much prefer a different art style with new character and have everyone have a different moveset instead of just an extended version of their Smash 4 designs. I don't know if Captain Falcon would stay just because he's so iconic to the Smash legacy, or if he would be one of those ones where it's like, well, if we're never bringing F-Zero back, do we just cut the ties now? Like, this is like...
Now he's like, he might as well
He's-
be an original Smash character at this point.
He's one of the original 12. You can't get rid of him.
This
Or
seems
if you're
like
gonna
a
get rid of
bullshit
one of the
Smash Bros rule,
originals.
though, that everyone's just made up because they've said it on the playground, dude. When they were thinking about who's getting in Brawl, they were like, "Oh, they can't cut the original 12." Dude.
Dude, can you imagine what the internet would look like if they took Captain
A
Falcon
world
out
without
of
the
Smash
Falcon
Bros?
Punch is a worse world, Ethan.
I don't
It really
disagree. I love
is.
playing Captain Falcon. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as safe as everyone thinks he is. I'm just saying. If there was someone
feel
from the
like-
original
I
12
feel
that had to
like
go,
Falcon.
it would be him. It would.
I feel
What's
like
an
if Captain
F-Zero?
Falcon is not in the next Smash Brothers game, regardless of F-Zero, there will be some kind of revolt.
Yeah,
Honestly.
probably. And then
And from the original 12, I feel like Ness would get cut before Falcon would.
And if you want
Nah,
to be
they love
reasonable
port-
about people who are like redundant, Luigi could go.
Jigglypuff
thing,
can
Kyle.
go.
Kyle, here's the thing. Luigi's never going to go. Jigglypuff's a Pokemon, so they've got the recognition.
There are like 500
And
Pokemon.
they love porting. They love porting Earthbound to every fucking thing on the planet.
Well,
Whereas
nowadays
F-Zero,
they do.
there's F-Zero 99 and maybe the
Not in
SNES
my
game, but that's it. they don't port anything else. And they don't make a big deal of it. When Earthbound comes to every new Nintendo system, they have to make it like its own trailer, and everyone gets hyped every single time because they're stupid. Whereas F-Zero is just like, yeah,
Well, that's
we'll put
because
F-Zero.
they've also made a game out
SNES
of
Online.
perpetually provoking the people who want Mother 3 to be ported.
Yep.
Right. He's all right. We're putting him in all right. I'm putting him under Banjo, though, because I feel like Nuts and Bolts came out fucking after the last installment of F-Zero. So,
I think you're right.
yeah. Fuck you, Falcon. Get a new game, please.
Yeah, but Captain Falcon was also in Smash Brothers all that time that Banjo wasn't, in between Nuts and Bolts and now.
True.
So,
Conker. Here's the thing. No one outside of gaming is not like a Sonic or a Mario or a Crash where you look at them and someone goes, I know who that fucker is.
Yeah.
yeah.
This guy's
What?
had like 2 games.
But if you're a fan of Rare and you're a fan of the N64, I feel like there are people that love Conker more than Banjo. Like, I feel like the people do really like Conker.
They really shouldn't, though.
They
Those
shouldn't.
people are weird.
This game was
Those
much
people
worse.
need help.
Is he obscure?
I'd say so.
Did
we
Nowadays,
put-
yeah.
Is he obscure? Is that what we're going
Yeah.
with? I think he's less obscure than Bomberman. I feel bad for Bomberman, but I feel like Conker's got more of a future than Bomberman. I don't know.
Let's see. Character owned by Rare. Character owned by Konami.
Were we too
Who's
harsh
got
on
the
Banjo?
brighter
This is what I'm
future?
thinking. Were we too harsh on Banjo at the start? Were we too harsh on Banjo?
Look, we'll see how the rest
Yeah.
of the list pans out.
Okay,
And
there
then
might
we'll
be
make
corrections at the
corrections.
end. I think he's obscure, but do we put him above or below Bomberman? Do we annoy the 80s kids or the 90s kids? Who do we annoy here? Who?
The
I'd
80s
put
were
him-
further away, so put him above Bomberman.
I was gonna say put him below,
Okay,
but I also don't have a strong opinion here.
so am I the tiebreak? Is that how that works?
Yes.
I say we are going to put him below because Bomberman's had 2 games out on the Switch. So obviously some people will know who he is, whereas Conker has had nothing except for Rare Replay. So
Yeah,
we'll
that's
go with
true.
that.
Cash Banuka.
Crash Bandicoot, dude. He's an icon, dude. He's an icon, especially of the 90s, right? I feel
Yeah.
like I say, Mario, Sonic, Link, Crash, and stuff like is an interesting thing.
All the
It-
characters you'd find on a gamer T-shirt.
Yeah, basically, like I'm a gamer not because I have no life, but because I choose to live many. He's right there, dude. He's right
Because I
there.
beat up in school.
With a
If we had-
fan base that was still active enough in 2016 that when Sean Layden wore a T-shirt, it made them consider making wore the Crash Bandicoot T-shirt. It had a bunch of people going, "Oh, that's a sign."
Dude. When E3
Didn't they announce him in
2016,
Skylanders or
when I
some
woke
shit?
up, I had an exam on the day the day after the PlayStation press conference, because PlayStation's press conferences were always at like 2 a.m. my time. I didn't get to see it. When I woke up and I watched I woke up at like 6 a.m. to watch the press conference before I went to school for this exam. When the Crash Bandicoot music started playing and they announced the remakes, I fucking cried like a baby.
Aw.
And let's bear in mind, this was 2016. I was like, what? I was in my final year of high school in the UK, so
Yeah,
I was
you would
like
have been-
17,
Yeah.
18 years
You
old.
would have been 18.
Yeah. Not a child, but I was like, this is like... And here's the thing, if we'd 10 years ago, if we'd done this, I would have probably put him in pretty cool or great because he hadn't had a game since Mind Over Mutant or whatever, and he was kind of in a dead zone. In the past
People are
decade, there's
starting
actually
to
been
forget.
NST, Nitro Fueled, Crash 4, and let's fucking forget about Rumble, but there was also Rumble. That was a thing that came out. It's been pretty fucking active of a character. I think he's in the zeitgeist. I think when we get to Smash Bros. Talk next time round, I don't think Crash is off the table, especially with him now being owned by Xbox, and Xbox likes chucking their shit at Nintendo whenever they want to. So it's like, yeah, go for it, dude. What are we saying, boys? What are we saying? Is there any contest here?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how how fine do you want the top tier to be?
Well, when I look at god tier characters here, I'm just like I say again. I'm thinking of like I say. If we have to chuck some down into great later, I'm fine with doing that. But to me, it's like, yeah, gamer T-shirt, dude. You've got like Sonic, Mario, Master Chief, Crash Bandicoot. You know what I mean? Like, there's like.
All the
If
classics.
Ezio from Assassin's Creed was here, we'd be like, he's also on those t-shirts. He's just like, if you
Why
go into
isn't
Hot Topic,
Ezio
you will
on
find a
here?
Crash. Yeah, if you walked into a Hot Topic, you'd find a Crash Bandicoot t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like that is,
Yeah.
he's iconic, dude. I say he goes at the top until we boot him out.
All right.
Sounds good to
later.
me.
Sounds good to me.
Good job, Crash. We're also, should very much specify this, we all were born in the late 90s, okay? We grew up in the 2000s when Crash was very much a big thing, so we probably are biased here, but fuck you, okay?
And Ethan and I were primarily PlayStation kids.
Yeah, 100%. Nintendo to me was a handheld company because I didn't own a Nintendo home
Mhm.
console until the Wii U. Get that in your brain. Croc. Speaking of being a PlayStation kid, I never fucking played Croc, so I don't have any attachment to Croc, if I'm honest
Me
with
either.
you.
I don't think I would know who Croc is if not for Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
I agree. I'd
All
put
right,
him at the
literally who?
bottom. Literally who? You think that? You think Goodbad is Blinx the Cat?
Yes.
I mean, I'm willing
Really?
to say obscure.
I was gonna say
but
below Conker. That's where I was gonna put
Yeah.
him, like below Conker, not Blinx the Cat levels of obscure. Like,
because I still do know who he is, and I feel like being generous, I would have learned who he is if I didn't know Sam at some point. It's just Sam's the
Yeah.
reason I know him.
Yeah.
See, I don't think I would.
Here's the thing is, right? I've heard people chiming wanting a Croc remake. I have not heard a single person ask about a Blinx the Cat remake. Let's put that into perspective here, okay? Like, that's...
Well, I'm sure if you gave me enough time searching
Right.
Reddit, I'd
Hear
find
me
someone.
out. If we're gonna put Croc in literally who, I want to move Blinx fucking down to I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. If we're gonna play this game, yes, fair enough. That is my counter offer. If this is Shark Tank, this is my counter offer. Okay, Kyle, you can make the decision. Hunter wants him in obscure. I'm willing to put him in literally who, but the counter offer is Blinx has to go down. What are you picking? What are we going for?
I think Blinx moves down a tier.
Okay, good deal, good deal, good deal. Okay, there we go. Good job, Croc. You dethroned the cat. Cuphead.
He's pretty cool.
Put him in
He is, but it's like...
pretty good or great.
He's been popular enough to get his own TV show.
And,
Yeah.
and he's in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
That's a
He got
Mii
a music
costume.
in Smash Bros.
Yeah, I guess. I think
His show was so good it got my brother to play the game.
So would you put him above? Well, yeah, I get in the cultural zeitgeist today. I probably would put them above Banjo and Captain Falcon. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think I
Above
put
the
him in
Angry
pretty.
Bird?
I think I put him in pretty cool, to be honest. Cuphead.
Yeah, I'd put him
It's
in
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool.
I don't think he's iconic as the Angry Bird though. The Angry Bird got 2 movies. Think about that, guys.
Well,
Think
that's
about that.
true. But did
I'm
they
not
get
exactly
a TV show?
I'm not exactly seeing Cuphead just show up on T-shirts at Walmart either.
Whereas
Whereas
the
Angry
pig
Birds
and the
were
Angry
just
Bird, yeah.
On stuff.
Below red, then.
Yeah.
There we go. Cuphead, ladies and gentlemen. More iconic than Banjo and Kazooie. I'm sure you will not hate that
And
whatsoever.
Captain Falcon.
And Captain Falcon. Diddy Kong. I fucking hate Diddy Kong. I can't
I
classify him
also
as...
hate Diddy
I
Kong.
can't class him
hate
as
Diddy
obscure.
Real talk.
but I can't classify him as obscure, but I hate the bugger. I really don't like him.
It'd be
I
really
don't like
funny to
you,
put
but I
him in one of the
respect
low
you.
tiers, but put Donkey Kong up at the top.
Well, yeah, Donkey Kong deserves it. He's great.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and
I'd put him at the bottom of alright. That's where I'd put him. That's like,
Yeah,
to me, that's
yeah.
where Diddy Kong resides, is the bottom of alright. He gets dragged up because the games are good, you know what I mean? But as like an
Yeah.
actual icon. He's not
Yeah.
obscure, but I'd rather have Captain Falcon on a t-shirt than Diddy Kong, you know what I mean? Like
That's true. Captain Falcon looks cool, and Diddy Kong's just a silly monkey.
Right. Cool. Diddy Kong, congratulations. You're alright, I guess. Not as alright as Captain Falcon. Donkey Kong. He's a homie, dude. He's a homie.
He's great.
but
I think he's got to
Also-
go in the GOAT, doesn't
do
he?
you? Here's the thing. Here's my counter offer. If he was such a goat, where are his fucking video games? They haven't made one in 10 years. Where's my bloody game, bro? Tropical Freeze was 10 years ago.
Yeah, but have you played Tropical Freeze?
I have.
It's really good.
It's not as good as people think it is, though. I don't think it's that great. It's good.
Well, anyway, if you say the word arcade or something like that, the first things that people will think of, Donkey Kong will be one of them, like Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but how much of that is the actual arcade game, and how much of that is stupid Billy Mitchell videos on YouTube recommended? You know what I mean? Like, how much of that is actually because they know about the arcade game? I think more people nowadays know about Donkey Kong.
Recognizing is recognizing.
Here's the thing, Hunter, and I think the Mario movie has done this to Donkey Kong, is now people don't see Donkey Kong as his own character. They see him as a Mario character. That's the problem now, is Donkey Kong is a Mario character. He's a spin-off. Even though Mario was a spin-off of Donkey Kong, he's become the spin-off. My guy. Where are the games, bro? He's got a ride at Universal, but no game? Like, what the fuck is that?
He's got more rides at Universal than most people at this this list.
Do you have a ride at Universal, Ethan?
Does Crash Bandicoot have a ride at Universal? He was owned by Universal, and he doesn't have a ride at Universal.
He did have a load of characters. They did have him in like a mascot costume going around though, back in the day. And then they sold the rights to Crash, so they don't have him anymore. But you know, listen, I don't know why. There's something. I think it is just the fact that Donkey Kong. Here's the thing: fans aren't doing Donkey Kong dirty. Nintendo are doing Donkey Kong dirty. And it's like, I want a new Donkey Kong game. I think everybody wants a new Donkey Kong game. So why the fuck has it taken 10 years? You know what I mean? Crash Bandicoot has had 4 games since Tropical Freeze
Retro's
came
been
out.
busy trying to salvage Metroid Prime 4.
and hear me out when that comes out later this year, because it will. Ethan guaranteed. Lock it in, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like it's going to be fine, but like this game, like it's taken 6 years to make this game. It's taken 6 years. They restarted it in 2019. It's been 5 years since the restart. That's like crazy. You might get a new 2D Metroid before Prime 4 at this rate. Like this is.
Remember when you told me I was stupid for saying that?
No, I think you've got some merit. I think you've got some merit. Dread was long enough ago, wasn't it? 2021. Dread?
Yeah, 21.
Yeah, you got plenty. Like, there's plenty of time to make it 2D Metroid in that time. I don't know. I'd want to put him in God tier. I feel like he's great though until he gets a new game. That's my standpoint.
Yeah. I think great is probably where he caps off.
Like top of great, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, top of great. He will hold at top of great.
Yeah.
But until he gets a game, this is a threat, Nintendo, okay? Look what you've done to your fucking icon, okay? He's going in great. He's gone in great jail. Make a new game, fuckers. I'm sick of you.
Great jail.
Mm-hmm. And if we run this back in like 3 years and there's still another Donkey Kong game, he's going below the Angry Birds. That's a threat. That's a threat.
Oh damn.
Fox McCloud. Right, talking about over fucking right. I don't care he's in Smash. He's not going above Captain Falcon, and I'm standing on that fucking statement, okay? Like
I'd agree with that.
I'm standing right between Captain Falcon and Diddy Kong. I'd put.
Yeah,
like,
that sounds right.
Oh,
That's
even
fair.
Like
do I like Diddy Kong more?
Captain Falcon.
No.
No. At least
No,
Fox
you
has
don't.
Fox has a gun.
Well, Diddy has
Yeah.
a peanut gun.
Yeah, but Fox's gun is better, and he's
That's
not.
true.
Yeah, but firing
revolting.
peanuts at someone with an allergy is funnier than just a regular gun. You know what I mean? Like,
No, everyone has an allergy to bullets, though.
You've got a good point. It's not as comical though. Yeah, I'd put.
It is when you
out of-
phrase it this
Hunter
way.
out of context.
Yeah, between Captain Falcon and Diddy Kong, I'm happy to go there. That's where I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Like it's
good.
Captain
Yeah.
Falcon series died long before Star Fox, and
Yeah.
he's. I think people know him more sometimes.
That's fair.
Uh.
That's fair. That was an easy
Gex.
conversation to be had. It wasn't as passionate as Donkey Kong, tell you that. Gex. Now hear me. I'm a big fan of Scott the Was and Gex, but you know, still obscure. You know what I mean? Like it's still like
Yeah.
it's still obscure as hell.
Yeah.
Does him being a Scott the Woz meme put him above Bomberman just because more people probably know him from that stupid meme? I don't know. I definitely put him in obscure. I definitely want to put him in literally
Yes.
who. Because
Like I had
Gex is
heard
a
of
bit
Gex
a meme.
before that video anyway.
Yeah, well, it's either Scott
so-
the Woz, Donkey, or I knew about him beforehand because I just lived on YouTube in like the 2010s where people would make videos about every platform that was released between 1990 and 2008. You know, like that was just what people did.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'd put him in. I don't know where I'd put him in obscure. Any feedback? Any ideas?
I'd put him below Bomberman, because when was the last Gex game?
I have a feeling that because it's owned by Square, that this seems like a game Square will remaster at some point. You know what I mean? This feels like
but we're not in that timeline yet.
This feels like a bottom of the barrel sick game coming out in
I can't
March
wait.
next year. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they're just gonna shot during the good old Square Enix 65 shotgun. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna do the 6 shotgun load of fucking all games in March, and one of them's gonna be Gex. I'll put him in between Conker and
I just saw the
Bomberman.
future where a new Gex game comes out before like a new Square Enix game, and I've been asking them to do something with one of their properties, like Parasite Eve or something.
No.
I didn't realize
Gex.
that Gex was owned by them, but that's infuriating.
Yeah, you
Which
know
comes
it's infuriating.
first, Gex or the next Dragon Quest game?
No, you know it's Hunter knows it's infuriating because Hunter knows that they're 100% going to do something with Gex before Parasite Eve. You know that for a fact, Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Sit in your cave and feel bad about that because that's the truth. That's the
It's
reality of the
annoying.
world. My favorite part is when Square
There's no
Enix
one at
was
Square see the
selling.
vision.
I swear, when Square Enix was selling its assets off, like it was selling Crystal Dynamics and all that jazz, I swear they specifically went out of their way to keep Gex. I feel like that was a thing that
Oh
they
yeah, because
went
it
out of
was
their
one
way
of the
to
other
keep.
guys that did those games.
Yeah, it was IDOS, wasn't it? It was like IDOS
Yeah.
or something. And it's like
Oh my
they went
God.
out of their way to keep it. So yeah, Glover, fucking who, dude? Like I know Glover.
Fucking who?
I know him, but I don't know what his games were like or when he's.
But I
like, when he
don't
was
care
I've
last
never
enough to
seen.
played
learn.
Glover. I don't really know what he's about. I just know he's a glove with eyeballs.
Yeah.
I think the history puts him above Blinx, but I'm literally just gonna put him fucking. Do I put him below Croc and literally who just because of the history of the character, or do I just put him in I don't know and just leave him be, let him rest? Where we
I
put
feel
him?
like literally who and I don't know are basically the same category.
They are, but I feel like
I feel
don't
like we
know
did
is
the
like
thing where we made a category twice.
yeah, but I want the bottom one to be like this is personal. I want anybody that sees their favorite in the bottom like to know that I'm purposely putting them there. You know what I mean? Like. I mean, we can do the classic where we rename it to like LOL or something, and then we just make people
Oh,
mad. You know
God.
what I mean? But I say we put him at the bottom of literally who. He's not as bad as Blinx the Cat.
Mm.
Yeah.
Next up, Hunter. Who is this?
That's Ryu Hayabusa. I'm not sure why he's on this list of mascots.
From what game?
Ninja
Ninja Gaiden.
Gaiden. I don't understand why he's here.
Mascot of Koei Tecmo.
I
So
mean,
can
if you
put
wanted
him
to
by
stretch.
can I put him by Glover then?
no, because I know who he is, and I feel
No.
like people who know what video games are
No, right,
beyond a
shut the
skin
fuck
deep
up,
level
okay?
know who
I
he
host
is.
a gaming podcast, and all I know is he's from Ninja Gaiden. I don't know who the fuck he is. I'm not putting him above obscure.
That's because like for Ninja Gaiden, it was either the NES trilogy or the Xbox remakes,
Oh,
where
perfect. So
it
what you're
turned into
saying
like
is,
an action hack and slash.
yeah, so what you're saying is,
It's not
is-
something you would have ever come
yeah,
across
you're
in
saying
your
he's
life.
shows
going
up-
in the bottom half, Hunter. You can fuck off, bottom half. Where are we going?
I guess at the top of the bottom half.
You think he's more? You think he's okay? So you think he's more iconic than Bomberman? You think he's more iconic than Bomberman?
Yes. I've
Okay,
just
then.
seen his armor in Rise of the Ronin. They still
Yeah.
put references to him in their stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Well, there we go then. I mean, I can put him next to Diddy Kong if you prefer.
It just, I mean, if you're gonna put him above Diddy Kong, I'm more than willing to move him. But
No,
otherwise,
I'm not putting him above Diddy Kong. I say that I'll put him in there all right next to Diddy Kong.
Okay.
Oh, I
Righto.
hear the Ninja Gaiden fans right now.
I've just
They
upped
are
him!
not
Ninja
happy.
Gaiden fans, I've just put him next to Diddy Kong, everyone's favourite. Like, comment, subscribe, thank you. Don't worry, we're going to piss off Sony fans next, Jak and Daxter. Fucking worst of the trilogy of PS2s. Can we I'm sorry, Jak and Daxter fans, but Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper, both better. Can we all agree?
I never played Jak and Daxter.
Jak and Daxter 1, legitimately, and I say this with, like, genuinely all the praise I can get, is one of the best platformers on the PS2. Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, is fantastic. I loved it. I played it for the first time in 2016, and I was like, this is why people love Jak and Daxter. And then I played Jak 2, and it was awful. And then I was like, oh, because it's just a GTA clone. And then I played Jak 3, and it was a better Jak 2, but it was still terrible, because it wasn't a good GTA clone. And then Jak X wasn't a good racing game, which is sad because Naughty Dog made a good one before. They made the best racing game of all time. And then the PSP one's garbage, so I'm perfectly happy with putting them in the bottom of their alright. That's probably where they deserve to be.
Right behind Ryu Hayabusa.
Yeah. See, Hunter?
I think that more people know who Jak and Daxter is, if for no other reason than all of the Jak and Daxter fans insisting they come back, then people know who Ryu Hayabusa is.
Well, there we go then. That's perfect. We'll put him above Ryu Hayabusa.
Oh, he's right next to Diddy Kong.
Next to Diddy Kong. He doesn't pass the Diddy Kong barrier. He doesn't pass the Diddy
I
Kong
feel like
threat.
Diddy Kong is just the gatekeeper right now.
We're gonna scientists call this the
This is
Diddy Kong
incredible.
threshold, dude, and unfortunately Jak and Daxter do not hit the Diddy Kong threshold. This is gonna be the most hated episode of the podcast yet, dude. I just see it already. Oh,
This is like when we were
dear.
talking about the game companies and we had like the war crimes category.
Oh yeah.
Oh, please go back and watch that. We ranked games that we hadn't even played, and people did not like that one. That was funny.
No, that was the company's one.
Was
Yeah,
that the
company's one was funnier because we got to just, axe to grind with all the stupid corporations.
That's
Yeah.
true. We could do that episode every year, to be honest, because it changes on a whim. Kirby, I hate to say it. He is an icon, though. He is an
Yeah.
icon, dude.
He's great. He's right below Donkey Kong.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
In terms
people-
of like
More people who don't play
recognizability.
video games know Donkey Kong than they know Kirby.
Okay,
I
if
feel
you
like
both,
it's
if
about
that's where you both are
50-50.
thinking, if that's where you're both are thinking, okay. I was just saying, there's eight Kirby games a year. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's-
and none of it matters towards his cultural recognizability.
Yeah.
okay, Kirby fans, I'm sorry. I was thinking that he was. I was thinking higher aspirations for Kirby, but it seems
Were
like
you
Klonoa,
thinking top
fucking-
tier for Kirby?
He's so cute.
I don't think he goes that high.
Okay. Klonoa. Obscure. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Let's be real
Yeah.
here. I'd put him above Gex, below Bomberman. That's where I put Klonoa.
Yeah. I mean, Klonoa had the 1 and 2 remaster a few years back, but that's about it.
Was it a couple of years ago now? I thought it was like, was it not?
It was
was it last year?
21, wasn't
I
it?
think it was
21?
22.
22?
God,
I
I
don't
thought
know,
that was
dude.
last year. I bought that and I played the first one and I was like, this is cute, and I can see why if you played it on the PS1 when you were a kid, you think it's great. But it's like a Kirby category. I feel like where it's like it's a feel good game, but there's not much there in terms of entertainment, in terms of like challenge. It's not like
Yeah.
it doesn't have like the gameplay loop of a Donkey Kong or a Mario or a like even a 3D platformer. It's not really there. It's just a bit. He's fine. I'd put him in between Bomberman and Gex because of Phantom Reverie series. That's where I'd put Klonoa. I love him though. He's adorable.
Yeah. Cool design. Big fan.
Yeah, he's cute. I like him. Kratos is
If
iconic.
only Namco would do something with it.
I think it's interesting that Kratos is on here and every other third person character from PlayStation isn't. I feel like hear me out, if this was 10 years ago, 2014, and we were having these conversations, if this was like supposed to be the modern PlayStation representative, it probably would have been Nathan Drake and not Kratos because of how much Kratos' name had kind of been buried into the ground in the PS3 and era until 2018, and now after the reboot and Ragnarok, he's back up in everyone's good graces again. I think he's pretty great.
Yeah.
I don't think I put him in God tier because again, it's like I don't
That's okay.
see.
He'll just kill all of them later.
I
That's
don't.
what he does.
Again, though, it's like I don't see my parents knowing. Well, my dad knows who Kratos is, but if I said to my mum, "Who is this?" she'd have no clue. But if I showed her Donkey Kong or Kirby, she'd know who Donkey Kong and Kirby are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think Kratos is iconic, but he's iconic to gamers.
Yeah. So he's right in between the Angry Bird and the Cuphead.
I feel like that's really mean, though. I feel like...
But it looks really funny.
No, I can't put him there. In good faith, I feel like he has to go below Kirby. In good faith, that's where I would put him, is below Kirby, above the Angry Bird. That's where I'd put him.
Yeah.
Because I've still seen plenty of gamer t-shirts with a Kratos on him, dude. Say something.
Yeah. And, like, Kratos is one of those ones that even, you know, nerds who only play Grand Theft Auto and Fortnite and stuff will still occasionally go out of their way to play, like, God of War or something.
100%. 100%. Next up, we have Lara Croft, who, as everyone knows from that latest poll, is the #1 most iconic. Get her up there, yes, Queen. Get her up there.
God tier.
God
right
tier
above Cash
character.
Panuka.
Right, who's Pikachu, bro? Never heard of you. That's
Pika who?
Lara Croft, bro. That was crazy. Here's the thing.
No, but real talk.
Real talk, in 2024, I don't know if she is above or below the Angry Bird and pretty cool. That's where I'd say.
I think she's above the Angry Bird.
I agree. I think she's the top of
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Because, like...
I love Lara Croft. I think she's great, especially in the new games, the new trilogy. I think they really did a good job of turning her into more of a actual character, like a human character. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the original Tomb Raider games. I have a lot of nostalgia for the original Tomb Raider games. They're some of the earliest memories of me watching my dad play video games. I have vivid memories of Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider trilogy, like the mansion and the caves and all that jazz, and the dinosaur and all that. And then also Tomb Raider Underworld, for some reason, has a part of my brain that I just remember watching my dad play. And I tried playing it in the first mission, and I couldn't figure out how to leave the fucking alleyway, and I was like, I give up. This is too hard for my 6-year-old brain. But, like, still, it's been, like, how long's it been since Shadow of the Tomb Raider? Like 5 years? 6 years?
2019.
Yeah. Long time. Also, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Not that great.
2018.
Oh,
Really?
my God.
September 12th, 2018.
Wow.
I will say this, though. I'm very much looking forward to the next. Now that Uncharted is dead, I'm very much looking forward to the next Tomb Raider. I genuinely am.
I mean, Uncharted being around was never stopping me from looking forward to Tomb Raider because its gameplay was better.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree.
The parts where it actually asks you to play the video game were better than Uncharted's.
Not Uncharted 4. The original, right, Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. When Tomb Raider 2013 came out, yes, it was better than all the Uncharted that had come out back then. But I still think Uncharted 4 is better than Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I'll stand by that one, Hunter. I will stand by it.
Okay, I guess to be fair, I haven't played any of those since playing 4, so I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that game's great. It's got the grapple hook and all that jazz. Good stuff. It's good stuff. Anyway, yeah, pretty good. Pretty cool. Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 4. Or just from Resident Evil in general, I guess, because he's the only person that's worthwhile on this list. He's good.
Yeah. You made an argument about its hair last year during the HGAs that was hilarious, with him inspiring a legion of young kids to get his hairstyle. Basically,
yeah. He's an icon of the 2000s, that's for sure. and I feel like
yeah.
the Resident Evil 4 remake has kind of boosted his popularity once again.
And there was the 2 remake as well.
And the 2 remake.
Yeah.
I feel like it
He's
has people
definitely the most.
asking.
I think he's the most popular character in the series, like head and shoulders.
I think it has got 100% got people asking in terms of Resident Evil 9, because like Chris has been prevalent again in Resident Evil 8 and stuff like that. I feel like, especially thanks to Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4, people have been asking, please not Chris, please be Claire or Leon or somebody else.
The
Can we
more
have
things
somebody
change,
else?
the more they stay the same.
Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see Claire or Leon before, because they keep saying that Resident Evil 9 is going to be the last one, and before they spice things, like change the like separate from the story a bit. But I don't know, he's an icon, isn't he? He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Would I put him above Lara Croft though?
I would.
So below Kratos? In
I'd say
great?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can agree with
I
that.
feel like in like a recognizability contest, more people would just know Kratos than
Yeah,
Leon.
100%.
Because Leon that's just a guy.
I also think it doesn't help with for Lara Croft in her instance. There's so many iterations of Lara Croft and all the designs are slightly different, whereas Leon has basically just been Leon and Kratos have been like Kratos got the dad transition in 2018, right, where he got the fucking beard. That's about it. But like
It
Lara's
still
had so
the pale skin and red tattoo down the body.
Yeah. Whereas Lara, there are genuinely versions of Lara that look like completely like so different sometimes, where I'm like, okay, especially the new version.
And the new
Link.
version doesn't look that much different than any action movie that has a woman as the protagonist.
True. True.
Tank top doing stuff.
Yeah. Link from The Legend of Zelda. Hear me out before Hunter roasts me a new one here.
Oh, goody.
Pre-Breath of the Wild would have had him below Kirby.
Go on.
Okay.
Post-Breath of the Wild.
Explain your reasoning.
Post-Breath of the Wild, I'll put him above Kirby, but still below Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Link's here again. Zelda. People think
Zelda's iconography
gamers.
is more...
Gamers think that Zelda is the biggest thing in the fucking world, and then you actually look out in retrospect, and every other Nintendo IP is bigger. Like it's like one of those crazy things where everyone thinks Zelda is massive, and it is, and I love Zelda, but in retrospect,
the symbols in the game are more recognizable to the people who don't play them than the actual characters.
Which, what doesn't help is Link and Zelda literally look completely different in every single fucking video game. So it's like, that's why the Hyrule insignia is and the Triforce are so iconic to Zelda, is because literally everything else changes.
Yeah.
Where it's like you've got 8 different versions of Ganon. Zelda looks drastically different in nearly every single video game. Link just swapped from green to blue for the last 2 iterations, and that's probably the most iconic Link to a lot of normies is the Breath of the Wild Link.
I mean, I'd argue that, yeah, that version of Link and Zelda are the most iconic now at all.
The biggest question of all will be when they've moved on from the Breath of the Wild art style and go into something else. Are they going back to green and the stupid hat? That's my question. I think the stupid hat should stay dead. I'm a long fan of kill the stupid hat. But I don't know. Is like I think I love Link. I think his design is green tunic is iconic, but also now he's got blue in the mix, and I don't know what to think. I think he's great.
Yeah.
Because he's not on the level.
You definitely won't be cutting him from Smash Brothers. No matter
definitely
how hard you
God, imagine.
The funny thing is, though, and I will say this, I think we've got a higher likelihood of seeing the next Smash Bros. Again before we see the next Zelda game.
Yeah,
so I think there's a high possibility that we get Breath of the Wild Link again in another Smash Bros.
Heck yeah, dude.
Funny. Above Kirby, below Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
is that where we're sitting him?
That sounds
Yeah.
reasonable.
God, everyone's going to hate where we've put Crash. I'm just going to put that one out there now into the ether, and I'm sure the comments will agree with me. Luigi. I love you, Luigi. I'd put you in pretty cool, though. I'm not going to lie. Or is he great?
I mean, I feel like if you want to be intellectually honest, people know him just for being Mario's brother more than they know Kratos or Leon.
True. Is
Yeah.
He
more
also
known than
was just
Kirby,
in a
though?
movie.
Is he more
Yes, he
known
was
than
just in a
Kirby?
movie.
Okay, then. Right, well, Kyle, where do you want to put this in your opinion?
I'm
your
fine to
humble
put
opinion?
him below Link.
You'd put him below Link? That's a good
Between
point.
Link and
Let's put him
Kirby.
there, then. Should we beat around the bush with Mario, or should we just stick him right at the top where he's going to stay for the rest of this
I mean,
fucking session?
we're just delaying the inevitable if we do. Like,
He is video games.
yeah.
Mr. Video Game.
He is Mr. Video Game. He is Mr. Chris Pratt. He is video games. Look at him. Look at him go. Top of the list. Easy. Master Chief. Hear me out. If we were doing this video 10 years ago, he'd be at the top. He'd be in the god tier if it was 10 years ago.
I feel like you
think-
need 10
I'd
and
agree
some
with that.
change at this point.
Fine. About 14 years ago, he would have been at the top of the list.
Yeah,
I
there
think
you go.
if we had done this 5 years ago, on the cusp of the Xbox Series X announcement and Halo Infinite, everyone thinking Halo's back, I think he'd be at the top of great. I think at the middle now, I think he's above Kratos and Leon Kennedy, but I don't know if he's above Kirby anymore with how Master Chief is, you know? I feel like Master Chief's value is just dropping every single year. He's like Crypto. He's fucking plateaued and gone into oblivion, you know what I mean? The Paramount show has done irreparable damage to this character.
Oh man.
I'd put him below Kirby. I genuinely would put him below Kirby now, in this day and age. I genuinely would. I don't know how you're feeling, Hunter.
And yeah, what you're saying makes sense. I don't have a passionate argument for any higher, really. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he was Mr. Video Games in 2008, but now, since,
Yeah.
like, he hasn't had a good game since, like, Reach. So, and Halo 4 was, like, 2011. So it's like, it's been a long time. It's crazy to me how Halo
he wasn't
just-
even in Reach.
Yeah, he wasn't in Reach, that's true.
Oh.
I mean, it's
Thought that was
crazy to me.
2010.
Like, it is Microsoft's, like, big IP, and it's been fucked for the past decade. It's crazy how they just haven't managed to find someone that can make that work. Like, it shouldn't be hard to make Halo work, but they
Or
managed to
make
fuck
a
it up.
game that's more of
time.
like recognized with their brand either.
No.
Master Chief has not been supplanted as Microsoft's most recognizable character, but his series hasn't been great lately.
Like, well, what's the other comparison, dude? A car? Like, Forza is probably their best. I love Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon 5 is my favorite game that I've played on my Xbox, which is sad because it was the first game I played on my Xbox when I got my Series X. And I put 30 hours into it in a week, and then I never played it again because I was like, okay. But it's like, God, Halo just needs fixing. Like, they just need to actually do something with Halo where they just don't fuck it up for once at launch. Like, can they do that?
Mhm.
Anyway, Mega Man. Here's the thing. If it wasn't for Smash Bros, why would we put that? Like, let's be real here. Does anyone give a shit
Did-
about Mega Man anymore other than Smash Bros?
There used to be a time where I thought that there was a time during like when Resident Evil was kind of like, you know, in between Resident Evil 6 and 7
Mhm.
where Capcom during the down years for Capcom in general, where Mega Man by default was kind of their company mascot again
Mhm.
because no one had been in anything that mattered.
Mhm.
But it's been a while. Like, I don't think we can make I don't think we can make much of an argument for higher than
They're all right.
yeah.
Would I put Mega Man above Diddy Kong? Does he pass the Diddy Kong threshold? I
Yes.
don't know. you
Yes, he
think he
passes
passed-
the Diddy
Yes.
Kong threshold.
Easy.
So, yeah, right, if we're doing that, then I'm putting him above Star Fox then.
All right.
Okay.
Because
That's
Fox,
fine.
I think between him and Captain Falcon, just because we're getting to these three kind of represent the Smash Bros fame, where it's like those four really are like, we're famous still because of Smash Bros, and I feel like people give more of a shit about Mega Man than Fox and Smash Bros. So I feel like that's where we'd put him.
Man, I still
Moogles.
think back to Mega Man's announcement in Smash 4. That was a really good trailer.
It was pretty cool.
That shit still gives me chills, dude.
It's pretty cool. Moogles from Final Fantasy. I think I've got an interesting kind of take on this because obviously I'm not a Final Fantasy fan at heart. So it's like, to me, it's like Cloud Strife, iconic. Chocobos, I've seen them. They're the things from Final Fantasy. Moogles, until I played Kingdom Hearts and saw them own a shop, I have no fucking clue what those were. I genuinely was not well aware of Moogles, to be honest, until I started playing Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. I did not know what they were. Whereas I'd heard of Chocobos and Sephiroths in the past, you know? I honestly would say that Moogles are, even though they're they're an icon in terms of Final Fantasy fans and like in the eyes of Final Fantasy fans, outside of Final Fantasy, no one knows what the fuck a Moogle is. I definitely don't want to annoy Ryo Hayabusa. Whatever his last name is. What is his last name, Hunter?
Hayabusa.
Hayabusa, thank you. Ryo Hayabusa fans by saying Moogles are more well known than him, because I don't think Moogles are more known than Ninja Gaiden.
Well, I mean,
marketable
plushy mascot.
Is any one Final Fantasy game more well known than the entirety of the Ninja Gaiden series? I think most of them on their own are.
Yeah.
Okay then. But here's the thing is...
Does he pass the Diddy Kong check?
No, I don't think he does. I don't think he passes the Jak and Daxter check. I think more people know who Jak and Daxter is theoretically than a Moogle from Final Fantasy. Again, Chocobo, we can come back to this conversation later. I think Chocobos are more known than Moogles.
Yeah.
Will either pass the Diddy Kong threshold? I don't know. But I would say between Jak and Daxter and Ryu from Ninja Gaiden, that's where I'd put him. That's where he'd live. And he's vibing.
All right.
I don't know which Moogle this is. I don't know why he has a wand. But, you know, he's chilling.
I don't know what version that is either. It seems like a later one, though.
I want to say that's 13.2, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
It's not the terrifying koala Moogles from FF7.
He's got like a stupid little time wizard
Goofy
staff,
face.
so that would make sense.
Yeah.
Because 13.2 had timeline stuff going on.
Yeah.
Pac-Man, a legend, an icon from the past.
The GOAT.
Here's the thing. From his history, do we put him in great?
Yes.
Where in great?
I would have put him
next to Donkey Kong
tier.
Really?
Oh, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother knows who Pac-Man is. My mother played Pac-Man. My mother only knows other games I've played because I've said things about them.
Ethan, what other video game franchise has people saying we've come a long way since blank than Pac-Man?
That's a gamer phrase, though. No one else is saying that. The only reason I know of that phrase is because I watched a 3-hour Tim Rogers video on Pac-Man. That's literally the only reason I know that we've come a long way since Pac-Man Lite. That's the thing, is to gamer, here's the thing is, he's definitely not more iconic than Mario in terms of the fucking common
No.
But, like, he's of the same level. I'd put him above Cash Panuka.
Yeah.
See... Here's the thing is, he's an icon from the 80s, but I think that it's like, again...
And he could coast on that until we're 80 and probably still be super recognizable.
I really don't. I think there are games from that era that will be... that are more iconic now. Like, yes, the image of Pac-Man is iconic. I will not disagree with you. But in terms of cultural zeitgeist, if you're telling me that a bunch of fucking 10-year-olds care about Pac-Man, they don't.
Well, yeah.
I've never played Pac-Man, and I'm
10-year-olds only care about Fortnite.
26. I've never played Pac-Man, and I'm 26.
It's the first thing I do whenever I walk into an arcade.
I've never walked into an arcade.
Anytime a modern console is like, yo, $3 version of Pac-Man, I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll play it for a night.
You're a boomer at heart, Hunter. You're a boomer at heart.
It's like, okay, Pac-Man is similar to Tetris, which also is never being supplanted as one of the things.
Tetris is more iconic than Pac-Man. Tetris is more iconic than Pac-Man. 100%.
No.
100%.
As a game, I do believe Tetris is, but I think they're in the same league. is what I'm saying.
No, but here's the thing, right? Is I 100% feel that more people give a shit about Tetris than Pac-Man. 100%. No
Okay.
one's sitting there and go when Tetris Effect came out and everyone was like, "Oh, I really want to know what it's like to be on weed while playing Tetris." And that's when Tetris Effect came out and everyone was like, "That's fucking fantastic. That's crazy." And then it's like, but no one when like they make a new version of Pac-Man, you don't hear everyone going, "Oh, wow, that's the best thing since sliced bread." Everyone loves the original Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man, and they're fantastic games. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I genuinely do think that there is going to be a time when games like Tetris are still lauded as these great video games, and Pac-Man is going to be lower down, and it's just going to be the really fucking old people like us that remember Pac-Man. And when I say us, I don't really mean us anyway. I mean people in their 30s. I will happily... Obviously, I'm wrong here, and like you two have overruled and said where he is, but I genuinely do think... If we're putting Pac-Man there, I think Donkey Kong's more iconic than Pac-Man.
Okay, I was arguing for that in the first place.
No, we're not moving him now. You've made your fucking beast. We all agreed on that.
Fine. But still.
But I'm saying that it's like Pac-Man, he's a fucking chump. I'm telling you, his days are numbered. Days are numbered.
All right, so hear me out. I'd be so later on in the list we've got that 2D Pac-Man.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to put 2D Pac-Man up at the top. And then whatever the fuck this 3D Pac-Man is. Because Pac-Man's 3D games have not been...
Yeah, no one cares
those haven't been
about
good.
no one cares about anything beyond the original one and Miss Pac-Man. Yes, I'm not arguing that at all. I'm just saying they can coast on that forever
Yeah.
until humanity collapses.
I think it's a bit two-faced that we're going, oh, Pac-Man had one really fucking iconic game in the 1980s, stick him right at the fucking top, but then we have Master Chief, who literally dominated what a fucking... When you say video games, they just slapped his fucking face on everything for literally a decade in the 2000s, and we're just going, yeah, but he fell off, we'll stick him in the middle of great. I feel like we're just putting too high of a fucking horse on Pac-Man, personally. But that's just me. I feel like everyone's just like, oh, we can't hurt Pac-Man. He's our little friend. Fuck him.
My mom doesn't know what Master Chief is.
Yeah.
Well, your mum's fucking weird, Hunter, because I bet, like, you just go... They probably don't know his name's Master Chief, but they'll go, Halo fucker.
Nah, not a chance.
Maybe not your mum, but a lot of normal people, especially people our age, Hunter, because unlike you, 90% of people who were our age probably did play Halo at some point, so they probably would. That's the thing is, Pac-Man, is he great? Yes. But I don't think people care about Pac-Man as much as they do, as you think they do anymore. I really don't. I would love to be proven wrong, but I don't see people making videos other than Tim Rogers about Pac-Man nowadays.
Well, that's because Pac-Man's not really a dissectable character, but he's still
Neither's
iconic
Mario.
to video games.
Neither's Mario, but some dumb fuck will make a video. Oh, how Mario changed the landscape forever every 2 seconds, dude. I don't know. I'm fine with leaving him here. Well, rest in peace, but I want it on fucking record. I fully disagree. Thank you. He fucking sucks. I'd stick him below the Angry Bird if it was up to me. I'm just saying. That's where I'd live him. No cap. Parappa the Rappa, obscure. Let's be real. I love Parappa the Rappa, but
Yeah.
obscure. I'd put him above Klonoa.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's fair.
I'd put him above Klonoa. I'm glad we could agree on this one. Pikachu, fuck you, is going in top tier. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
I'd argue to put him above Mario, to be honest. And they're literally neck and
So-
neck.
My argument here is that Mario is known for being a video game character. Pokemon, because of, like, Pikachu could be anything.
Hear me out though.
Pokemon's
Started as a
inevitable.
video game. He's that fucking iconic, and Pokemon's that iconic that it exploded outside. Mario's doing that now with movies, just starting to. I feel like that's the start of Mario.
Yeah. What I'm
exploding.
saying is, I'm like, commercial success and being tied to a thing aren't exactly the same thing. Like, if I say the word emo, Fallout Boy is more commercially successful. My Chemical Romance is more tied to the word. You know what
I don't
mean?
know, dude. I think to a lot of people, Pokemon is video games. When you look at game sales and stuff like that, there's a reason Pokemon games cost $6 bajillion to get a used copy of, but you can still get a copy of any Mario game for like $30-40. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Pokemon is the
Still
biggest
wants to
game
get rid of their
series
Mario
of
games.
all time. It just is
I
the
think-
biggest game series of all time.
Yeah. And also, like, if you're just out and about in the wild, you're more likely to run into a Pikachu something
Yeah.
than a
You know
Mario
what, Hunter?
something.
I want you
I-
to take this hatred that you're feeling and know that that's how I felt about Pac-Man. You're being over fucking ruled. Pikachu's the new god. He's the new goat. Fuck you.
He's the new god.
He's the new god. Fuck you, Chris Pratt. Get in second place, you little shit. Who's this penguin?
All right. So
Okay,
this
this
is
goes at the bottom because we don't know what it is.
Yeah, literally below
Yeah,
Blinx the Cat.
this-
Fuck you. I
this
don't know.
is
who you are.
yeah. He's
Who-
down here with the cat. This is the mascot for NIS Studios. They made like the Disgaea games and everything. And yeah,
So is he even like in a game or is he just
Yeah.
a mask? Okay.
he was in a game and then became the mascot, like
Okay.
Jack Frost to Atlas.
Yeah,
Alright.
and
Essentially.
Jack Frost is more iconic than him, so I'd put him in right
But
at
yeah,
the bottom.
this is yeah.
Anyway, Humega lol. It's the rabbit's time, baby. Up at the top. Sorry, Pikachu, you've been outranked.
We have a new god.
I think. Right, I just think from the.
These
just
things are still around.
these things are still around.
Sadly,
Mario and Rabbids.
Unfortunately.
Mario and Rabbids was big for Ubisoft, especially the first one. And it's like they just don't die. I hate to say this, I really do think they passed the Diddy Kong threshold. I really
I
think
think
they
you're
do.
right. They passed the Smash Bros. Wall.
I think
The
they.
wall
I,
of Smash characters.
I think they're below Cuphead just by how recognizable they are. I genuinely do. I hate it, but I think they are.
Honestly, yeah.
I don't
I-
like
I
calling
hate
them
it
pretty
too, but I think
cool,
you're
but I
right.
think I'm right that they're more popular than Banjo and Kazooie, dude. I would
At
not be
least
shocked.
nowadays, like more recognizable.
Yeah. They started as a Rayman spin-off and they nuked Rayman's career. Like, that's crazy.
The Mario to Donkey Kong.
The sad thing is, if Mario and Rabbids didn't happen, they would have died. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
it had been a long time since those idiots had bothered me.
Anyway,
But then
Ratchet
they made a
and
good game.
Ratchet and Clank. I love Ratchet and Clank. And
I've never played Rack.
I think it's a testament to Ratchet and Clank that they still have games that are coming out. Unlike Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper, there are still Ratchet games, and people still love Ratchet games. And it's really sad to say this because I know it's only sold like 4 million copies or something, but it's still in like the top 10 best-selling PlayStation 5 game like exclusives and stuff like that. It's like it's still pretty high up there. So it's like it's not that like when I remember when the announcement came out or whatever, it's like, oh, Ratchet's only sold like 3 or 4 million. It's like, oh, Ratchet's not doing so hot. No, just PS5 games aren't doing that hot. It seems Ratchet's fine. I think it passes the Smash Bros threshold. I think it passes.
Easy.
Here's the
Honestly,
thing:
I think
Yeah.
he goes at least above Kratos.
really. See, I was thinking, and again, we might have to do a shuffle at the end of this one because I feel like some of them I feel like we might have been too harsh on Lara Croft. I think we might have been too harsh on Donkey Kong. I think we should move Pac-Man to fucking the
Get
Nether.
over it.
But I would not. Actually, fuck it. I would say in my head, I'd put Ratchet and Clank above Leon. I genuinely would.
Mm-hmm.
Not above Kratos, because Kratos is just he is the PlayStation mascot at the moment, if you ask me, in my personal opinion. But I'd put him above. Yeah, I'd put him above Leon. Because I like Leon, but if you haven't played Resident Evil or watched any of its
Yeah.
shitty adaptations, you won't know who Leon is. Like that's the Yeah, Hunter, do you have any say on this? Any?
No, that seems about right.
Okay then. Well done. Who's more iconic, Ratchet and Clank? Just
Ratchet's name comes first, so
Ratchet, yeah.
I agree. Rayman.
Rayman.
Here's the thing. I love Rayman. and when I say I love Rayman, I want to be very clear that I love Rayman Legends. And I also like Rayman 2 and 3. I think the 3D Raymans are pretty good. I don't like Rayman 1 that much. That game's really hard and not like it's like very early kind of PS1 and it's very janky and doesn't play that well. It's charming as fuck, but it's like it's an evil little game. I think here's the thing, right? I'd put him above the Smash Bros. Threshold only because Rayman Legends was a game, even though it's over a decade, that's still sometimes up to a decade more recent than most of the Smash Bros. Threshold. I still hear, like, I feel like Rayman is the platforming mascot that people are clamoring for. Like, if anyone's gathering behind a revival or a return or a remake, it's Rayman. Like, they keep pestering that. The biggest thing out of that Ubisoft Far Cry show thing that was on on Netflix like 6 months ago that everyone was talking about was Rayman and David Menken as Rayman. Like that was the big thing about that show. People still love Rayman when he shows up. It's just Ubisoft refuses to fucking do anything with him, which sucks.
Yeah. I mean, Origins and Legends were both really fun games, but like you said,
I literally stand by. I think Rayman Legends is one of, if not the best 2D platformer ever made. I think Rayman Legends is fantastic.
But still, that was like wasn't that like a launch title for the Wii U?
It was a decade ago.
Launch?
It was 2013. It was 2013.
Yeah.
It's been a decade. I hope he does come back someday. I have a good feeling that Rayman will come back eventually, especially because they're doing shit with
if
Prince of Persia
came back,
hell yeah,
Rayman can come back.
Yeah. I feel like I'd put Rayman above the Rabbids just to spite them. You know what I mean? Like I don't like.
I can get behind that.
I think Cuphead is more iconic nowadays, just because he hasn't had a game since Cuphead.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, when people say Rabbids, I feel like people still think of Rayman. Because that's where they came from, the spawn.
Yeah, because it was like the Rayman Raving Rabbids.
Yeah. That's where I'd put him for now. I love
but
you,
now
Rayman.
It's just the Rabbids.
Come back, Rayman. I miss you, buddy. Please come back. Have you seen?
We
Right, this Starfy can go in the bin, dude. Like, I don't know who this star is.
I didn't know who he was either.
This is like some Sega Genesis character mascot.
Cool, right? He's going in between the cat and the penguin. Because I can at least say for certain when Blinx came out. I can't say what it's about, but I can guarantee when it was out.
See, I'll put him below the penguin because the penguin has a cool scarf.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing that because the penguin literally doesn't deserve to be here.
Oh, but this star thing does?
No, neither does the star, to be honest.
Well, there you go.
Ryu from Street
this guy's
Fighter.
Just got dorky shoes
I know
that
Street Fighter.
When he walks.
You know Street Fighter. He's pretty fucking iconic.
Ryu from Streets.
I would put. Oh, here's the thing, though, right? Is Street Fighter is iconic. I'm looking at that Kratos Master Chief barrier, and I'm like, does Ryu break through that to the normies nowadays?
I do.
If this was Mortal
Street
Kombat,
Fighter
this
6,
would be easy.
But Street Fighter 6 was really well received.
Yeah, but I still don't think it's God of War. I don't think it's God of War though. That's the thing is like Kratos is the icon for PlayStation at the moment. Street Fighter did well for Street Fighter, but again, if I showed my dad a photo of Kratos, he would know Kratos. If I showed him Ryu from Street Fighter, I don't think he'd know who he was.
Mm-mm.
That's the. I think he's more iconic. He's definitely more iconic than Ratchet and Clank. But God of War,
like
Master
regardless
Chief,
of how you slice it, Street Fighter's like the face of the genre.
Yeah.
Like I would put him above Ratchet and Clank. That's where I would put him.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
I think. Yeah.
It's hard to get that threshold, but
no,
it's like
I see it.
that Master Chief and Kratos. Like once you get into that tier, it's like it's pretty
just
hard.
Brick walled.
Oh, Sackboy! I love Sackboy, bro. I love him. Look at him. He's a little shit. I love him. Sackboy, I would put him pretty cool, solely because he was basically PlayStation's icon for the entirety of the PS3 to the mid of PS4, essentially, before, because up to Little Big Planet 3, basically, so it was like start of PS4. I mean, even now, Sackboy: A Big Adventure for the PS5 did surprisingly well, more than anybody probably expected that game to do. I still see Sackboy as more of a mascot than most of the games that come out nowadays for PlayStation, because PlayStation just has no mascots, really. It's like Astro Boy is kind of taking that slot. Astrobot? Not Astro Boy, Astrobot. Not Astro Boy. But
Astro Boy is someone different.
Yeah,
I also
that's
think
Mega Man.
Sackboy is just such a great design because you can just turn him into fucking everything. You just give him a costume and he just turns into everything, but it's still Sackboy. He's like a little Lego, dude, where it's like you can clearly tell it's Sackboy, but it's Cloud Strife, dude. That's crazy. Look at him. He's got a little Buster Sword. I love him. I'd put him above Rayman. I'd probably put him above Cuphead still, to be honest. That's what I'm thinking. Because, again, has a
Just
Netflix
past
show.
the Angry Bird.
I don't think he can pass the Angry Bird. I don't. Or
I don't know. These two kind of came into existence
at the
around
same
the same time.
I think to the people who grew up with Angry Birds probably also grew up with Little Big Planet. That's the hard part. Is they are very much. They probably were the exact same year or very close to. And people forget how big Little Big Planet was. Like it sold millions.
Yeah.
It was huge. Still is. Like I say, they made a random fucking platform at the launch of the PS5, which is too good for its own good. If you haven't played Sackboy: A Big Adventure, ladies and gentlemen, play Sackboy: A Big Adventure. It's like it's a 3D World clone, but it's a good 3D World clone. Like it has some better ideas than 3D World. Where are we saying? Kyle, where would you put him? Would you put him over the Angry Bird or under the Angry Bird? Over or under?
I'd put him below the Angry Bird.
Okay, Hunter.
I also think he goes below the Angry Bird.
Well, there you go, Sackboy. You go below the Angry Bird, you little legend. Samus.
I love our three walls: Kratos, the Angry Bird, and Diddy Kong.
Yeah. Now on to Samus. Definitely passes the Diddy Kong threshold.
Oh yes.
Don't think Samus passes the Angry Bird though. I'm gonna be real with you.
No, probably not. Sadly.
Here's the thing: is in my head, because as someone who lives in the gaming zeitgeist, right? In my head, I'm like, yeah, of course, Metroid is bigger than Little Big Planet. But if I went to the sales, I actually would highly doubt
Is
that.
it?
Yeah,
It probably isn't.
it probably isn't. I'd put Samus above Cuphead though. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's what, like, don't get me wrong, I love Metroid from the one game that I played. Actually, no, I did not like Metroid Prime. I'll take that back, but Metroid Dread was fantastic. I love Samus as, like, a design, but
It's just a great design.
just, again, Nintendo needs to love Metroid more, man. Definitely.
I agree.
Sans Undertale.
If this was 2015,
if this was 10 years ago,
yeah, just about. Like you couldn't escape this
God
dude
tier,
for like
yeah.
you couldn't escape him for like 2 to 3 years.
Hear me out though. I
feel
think,
like the joke has run its course now.
but
nowadays.
I still think that in terms of, because I don't count Steve as the icon of indie games, because Minecraft has not been an indie game for a long time.
It's not.
But I 100% see Sans as like the face of indie games. 100%. I don't think there is a more iconic video game in terms of indies than Undertale.
Yeah.
I just don't. There's very few indie games that hit like that, and most of them, like say Stardew Valley, doesn't really have an icon or a mascot. It's like, oh, Stardew Valley sold 16 bajillion copies, but it's a farming game, you know? Or it's like, Sans is just... I knew of Sans before I'd even heard of Undertale, because I'd saw the stupid memes and I'd heard Megalovania, you know? Like, that's just...
Yeah.
I would still put Sans in great, dude. He passes Angry Bird, dude. He passes Angry Bird, in my opinion.
But does he pass Kratos?
No.
I don't even think he passes Leon, to be honest.
I'd say at the bottom. I agree. I'd probably say at the bottom of great. That's where I'd put Sans from Undertale. Shadow the Hedgehog can go in the bin, bro. Like fucking. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Wow.
Anyone that thinks that Shadow the Hedgehog is cool was obviously born in the years between 1992 and 2003. You know what I mean? Like they were born at a
Look.
specific time.
He's
And
really cool. Okay.
He's really cool. He's got 2 fucking submachine guns. He's had his own game, guys. Trust me. He's not obscure. I don't know if I'd let. I
don't want him to go below Diddy Kong. That feels incorrect.
No, he's not gonna. He's gonna go above Banjo, in my opinion, because Sega
Cool.
Sega shits out that many Sonic games. You can't forget they exist, right? Like that's the thing. But I think people think of Sonic like Shadow is like if you're a Sonic fan, you know Shadow, right? Where it's like, I don't think. I can't put him. I can't put him above Angry Birds or Little Big Planet or Metroid.
I think Rayman is probably the cutoff.
Between Rayman and the Rabbids, or between Cuphead and Rayman?
Either or.
Hunter, how are you feeling on this?
I think more people know about Shadow than Rayman.
That makes me feel bad, but you're right. You're probably right. I hate it though.
He was just in a movie.
Right,
Oh,
I'm
shit.
telling
Yeah,
you.
you're right.
I'm telling you this. I don't care how many Shantae fans there are on this planet. She does not pass the Diddy Kong threshold. I'm telling you this right now.
Yeah.
She's definitely an obscure tier.
I'd
from someone who likes the Shantae games.
I'd happily put her above Parappa. I would even probably put her above Bomberman in this current
I'd
landscape.
put her above Bomberman. Yeah.
But
just
like-
because Way Forward keeps making these games.
they won't stop.
Yeah, I've seen her around for a long... I've never played a Shantae game, but I've seen her around for a long time, and I will keep seeing her around for a long time now because I like River City Girls, and Way Forward won't leave me alone.
100%. Yeah. Shovel Knight. If this was 10 years ago, he'd be a lot higher.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, I like Yacht Club games quite a bit. I'm looking forward to Mean to the Hollower quite a bit as well. But like I'd put Shovel Knight. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I'd put Shovel Knight above Shantae. That's where I'd put Shovel Knight.
Above Shantae.
Yeah.
Alright.
Just because, and this is the only reason is because it holds some of that hype and that recognition from Kickstarter. It was in that little bubble of Kickstarter explosions where it's like Shovel Knight still has a name. If you don't like, if I said like Shovel Knight to me is just like he shows up in everything as well. Everyone collabs with Shovel Knight for some reason. Like he's in a lot of other indie games.
Yeah. Oh, why isn't 2B here?
That's true. Where is 2B? She's iconic, dude. God tier, dude. God tier. I love 2B.
She's in everything.
2B, I would say this. 2B definitely passes the Diddy Kong threshold. Definitely passes
Easily.
Does she
I'd
pass
say
the Angry Birds check?
Yeah,
know.
if you played... I think if
don't know.
anyone...
No, I don't think so, dude. I think she...
Hear me out. If Angry Birds was still a video game today, would 2B have collaborated with them?
Yes,
Probably.
100%.
There you go.
I would probably put 2B under Lara Croft. That's probably where I'd put 2B. Because she's like weeb Lara Croft, you know what I mean? Like she's the icon for she's like the icon for weebs. Basically, you know, I stand by that statement. Simon Belmont, I'm gonna make Hunter angry.
I feel like
here,
Simon
dude.
Belmont isn't even the most recognizable Castlevania character anymore.
Here's the
not.
thing. I think people
He's
think
It's
not-
like Richter and Alucard.
I think most people I think
Alucard,
most people
Richter,
think, yeah.
Trevor.
I think most people think Castlevania's a Netflix show, not a video game, dude.
His name written down means more than him visually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, people know the name Simon Belmont. They don't know what he
Belmont,
looks
yeah.
like.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, Simon Belmont does not pass the Diddy Kong threshold. I'm telling you this
no,
right now.
I don't think he
No.
does. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Like, if it was Alucard, I could make an argument here.
I don't think Castlevania holds its weight anymore. I think other than the
It
Netflix
really kind of
show
doesn't.
and them being in Smash, like that's it. Like I would honestly, here's the thing, if it wasn't for Smash, I'd be arguing for Obscure right now. Like that is genuinely how I'd be feeling. But I'd probably say I don't know enough about Ninja Gaiden and Hunter. Would you say that
It goes
he goes
above Ryu
above?
Hayabusa. Yeah.
Okay,
Really?
Yeah. No one's made a Netflix show for Ninja Gaiden.
That's fair.
that's true. The
More
slime from
people are gonna
Dragon
replay
Quest.
Symphony of the Night is still like iconic for plenty of people.
It is. It's and for good reason, still a good game. But also, Castlevania as a whole, the last game was in 2014.
Yeah.
So
The slime from Dragon Quest, ladies and gentlemen, is an iconic design, dude.
Dragon Quest release is like a national holiday in Japan,
Absolutely.
so this is going on the high end of the list.
Here's the thing: in Japan, this would be no question God tier. If we're looking at a global picture, though, how much does the globe lower him? You know what I mean? Because like I know who the slime is from Dragon Quest, but I think I know because I'm in the.
Does anywhere take national holidays for Pokemon?
Yeah, I think most
That's dirty.
I think most people in their 30s do take holidays for Pokemon. To be fair, Hunter.
Okay, basements are not a country.
Yes, but the most people that play Dragon Quest also live in a basement, Hunter. I
think they have their own homes by now.
No, they don't. In Tokyo? No, they fucking don't. But, like, again, we're making this argument. If we've said that Master Chief has fell off, but he was the face of video games for a while, I'm saying, yes, Dragon Quest might be the face of video games for Japan, but including the rest of the globe, I think it would go into great.
Yeah. But Master Chief isn't a marketable plushie.
I would put Slime.
That's the issue with half of this selection is we just have characters that are kind of recognizable but not mascots.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's the Halo. But Master Chief is he is the fucking he is the mascot of Xbox basically. They've not got anything else. Blinx the fucking cat. Yeah. Look how where he is.
Yeah, but he's the mascot by default.
Bandicoot?
Yeah.
They didn't make a character to be designed to be marketable.
I would put Dragon Quest Slime. Oh, do I put
above Kirby?
Kirby.
Above Luigi?
I'd put him above Luigi, to be honest.
Above Link.
I won't go that far.
Okay. I wanted to see how far I could take that.
I'll go above Luigi.
And now it looks like Luigi's trying to suck up the slime with his vacuum.
Yeah, dude,
we've created a funny picture.
Right.
Speaking of ghosts, Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper. Here's the thing about Sly Cooper is...
This was the PlayStation mascot I grew up with.
Same here. I also think, here's the thing with Sly, is people still have copium for Sly. That's the that's the thing. And also Sly had a game in the last in a decade ago, whereas everybody in Smash Bros. Hell hasn't had a game in fucking 20 years. I don't think Sly is iconic as Rayman. I just don't. As much as I would love to put Sly so much higher, I can't in good faith say that Sly is more recognized than Rayman. In recent times, I can't say that he is more well known than the Rabbids. I'd love to fucking move the Rabbids though. But my personal opinion is
I'm willing to move the Rabbids.
Okay, cool. Should we just say fuck the Rabbids? We're doing this.
Yeah.
If we were being 100% honest, I'd put Sly Cooper below the Rabbids. But because this is our fucking list, fuck you Rabbids, you're moving a spot. There you go. Perfect. Metal Gear, Solid Snake.
Metal Gear.
Clap of his ass.
Hasn't had a game in a while, but I feel like if they announced one tomorrow, people would throw babies in the air.
Hear me out. I think he's still being pretty cool, though. I think Solid Snake at the moment, with his weight, and what his wealth is, what his value is I'd put him in the same kind of camp as Lara Croft right now, as an icon of the past. There's nothing currently providing that can make way for, like, if in like 5 years' time we've had a new Metal Gear game, then the conversation shifts. But for now, he's a relic. Like, there's so much drama surrounding Metal Gear that it's like, people still like Metal Gear, but people don't scream as much about Metal Gear as they did like 10 years ago.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with the new or the remake of MGS3.
It's such a weird one to remake, I feel like, because I feel like that is, you're doing it for the fans, because but it's like, how many new people are going to get in on Metal Gear Delta? Because once people look up, because like, what does Delta mean? And look it up and then see it's a remake of 3, are they going to go, oh, why 3?
I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
But...
I'd put Solid Snake at the top of pretty cool. That's where I put Solid Snake right now. I think Sans Undertale carries more value in today's gamer economy than Metal Gear. And I stand by that statement.
What a sentence.
I don't agree, but I also don't feel like arguing, so let's move on.
Although, if we're saying this, I also, like I say, if we've already moved people into
Sans'
places now.
stock is falling, and I feel like it will fall faster, in the coming years than Snake's.
I don't. I think, because here's the thing, is I can promise you for a fucking fact now that Deltarune, when Deltarune releases, will be a brilliant game and will be seen as a fantastic release. Whereas I cannot trust Konami to make anything good in the next century. That's what I'm saying is, I think, here's controversial opinion, I'll say it here now. Everyone's fucking scared of what Bloober's going to do to Silent Hill 2. I'd be equally scared about Metal Gear Solid Delta, because we don't even know who's fucking making that. Like, I'd be more scared about that thing. Because here's the thing, you can prepare for disappointment for Silent Hill Bloober game. You can't prepare for disappointment from random Ghost Team Metal Gear. Like, this is like, the last time we didn't know who made a Metal Gear game, it was Survive. Like, don't get excited, kids. I'd be scared. The collection didn't come out that hot, and that should have just been a slam dunk. But hey, we'll see. Sonic, I hate him, but let's be honest here, pretty fucking iconic.
I think he probably passes the Kratos Master Chief barrier.
Oh, I was gonna put him in God tier because he can't die.
Oh.
He's been making
damn.
shit.
He's more recognizable than Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah,
we can't.
I put him above
lie
Pac-Man.
about this.
I put him above Pac-Man. Fuck you. I put him right
Alrighty.
next to I put him right next to Mario. I hate Sonic with every fiber of my being. But
Oh, same.
If this was before the movie came out, I would go hard for the fact that he's been a punchline since most of my life. But
He just had a rough transition into 3D Hunter.
He is
That's
just
all.
a Mr. Pac-Man.
rough transition that came out for. Anyway,
Spyro
yeah, but
is nowhere near as iconic as Crash Bandicoot.
No.
no, not at all.
Still pretty cool, though.
Still pretty cool though. I agree. I would. God, I don't know how to fucking put this.
Above or below the Angry Bird?
I'm thinking above just for nostalgia. Nostalgia plays a big part. We haven't hit Angry Birds nostalgia renaissance yet. That'll happen in 2026. Be prepared.
I can't wait. What a time.
I'd put Spyro between the Angry Bird and Lara Croft. That's where I'd put Spyro. Probably. In my opinion. Again, because there's been a recent remake, sold over 10 million copies. So he's not like a little, like, it's not just like, oh, he was very popular back in the day. Like, he's popular when he hasn't had a game for 5 years because Activision are bastards. But when he did have that one game, it sold a lot of copies.
People loved it. Yeah.
It basically sold more than the entirety of the Metroid franchise combined. So there you go.
They put him in Crash Team Racing. They put him in Crash Team Rumble.
Spyro 4 Copium continues to this day.
Spyro 4 is never going to happen.
It will. Toys for Bob is making it. It is confirmed.
Sure thing, Grandpa.
I'm putting him in between Angry Bird and Lara Croft. And that's where I will say. Minecraft Steve. Telling you right now. Right at the fucking top, mate. Telling you right at the fucking top. Now we have to fight. I think Minecraft
Above
Steve is
Pikachu?
more iconic than... No, I think he's more iconic than Sonic.
Oh. Yes. I don't think he passes Mario.
Neither do I.
I hate kids.
Why? I hate to break it to you, Hunter. We were still kids when Minecraft started. I hate to break it
Yeah.
to you.
Doesn't change
I
my
was a
statement.
Minecraft kid. I was a Minecraft kid.
Opinion not changed.
And I think that Minecraft is what I love Minecraft for, because it's what makes gaming special. Is you have all these stupid games that go for realism and go for all these shitty fucking graphics. And what is the most iconic game of the 2010s? Fucking stupid block game. That's the most iconic
Yeah.
game of the 2010s. I love that.
Like, this was an unescapable game back in the early 10s.
Realistically,
Like, it was just
if you're still a
everywhere on-
10-year-old, it still is now. The game's still fucking going crazy like it always is. It started dying in like 2018, 2019, but it had a renaissance again. It picked back up in 2020 and it's still riding that high. This game just doesn't die. It's never going to die.
But I feel like with a younger generation, I feel like Roblox has kind of overtaken it as like the go-to kids game, you know? Using kids game in
I don't know.
big,
I still
heavy
think
quotation marks.
I still think they're neck and neck. I feel like you hear more about Roblox because of this child exploitation, all this other stuff, like, you know, like them using kids to make money and all that jazz. I feel like Roblox is more in the news, but I feel like Minecraft is just going to be
Roblox is the one that's sponsored by Nickelodeon.
yeah. Minecraft is just going to be that game that I think it's like GTA 5. No one ever talks about GTA 5 anymore, but it still sells millions of copies every year.
Away.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just like the noise might be quiet, but it doesn't mean no one's playing it. It still has more players than every fucking video game combined. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. But no. Truly iconic. Vault Boy from Fallout. If it was 10 years ago, guys, and they were still making Fallout games, it'd be a lot higher. But they haven't. Here's the thing: is they haven't made a Fallout game since '76, and then if we don't count '76, it was a decade ago nearly, because it was 2015, wasn't it? Fallout 4. It's like it's been long enough. There's an Amazon Prime show coming out, whatever. But in terms of like actual recognition, I'd put them in there all right. That's where I would put them, the Vault Boy, personally.
Yeah.
Is he more? I think he's more
Where
iconic.
does he fall?
I think he passes Diddy Kong, personally. I think Normie's just because Normie's like, you know, it's Fallout. Normies love Fallout. He passes the Normie. I think he's more popular. Like, where I toe the line is does Vault Boy overtake Banjo nostalgia? Is where I draw the line.
I think so, probably, because like 10 years ago was long enough for Fallout nostalgia to kick in too.
True. I'd say that Vault Boy is like the top of their all right, is where I'd put him. He kind of acts in the similar way of Rabbids, of just being kind of comic relief kind of things, where it's like, look at these funny, quirky animations on your little Pip-Boy when the world's gone to shit and you just got this funny little can-do 60s cartoon. Yeah. Yoshi. We all love Yoshi.
He's pretty cool.
Yoshi's a Chad. I think Yoshi is more iconic than Ratchet and Clank. I hate to say it, but I think it's true. I think
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think Yoshi is more iconic than Street Fighter, to be honest. I think most people know who Yoshi is. I think Yoshi's going to be pretty high.
I think by virtue of being always around Mario, he's like between Luigi and Kirby.
I agree.
He's going to be in the second Mario movie.
I agree. I'd say he's above Kirby just because he's got that
that's
Mario.
What I said.
He's got that Mario Riz, you know. He's got that like, as Hunter loves that word. Do we? All right, we're gonna ignore the 3 duplicates at the bottom, right? We're gonna ignore them. Which means we've got some Final Fantasy to end it. We're not talking about Reba. Chocobo. I still stand by it. I think Chocobos are more iconic than Moogles.
Yeah.
How much though?
I don't know.
Like, for example, I don't think Chocobos are more recognizable to the layman than Pit-Boy. Not Pit-Boy, what's his fucking Vault Boy?
Vault Boy.
Yeah. I just don't. I think more people know who Banjo Kazooie is. I hate to say that to fucking Banjo fans, but I feel like you might be onto something here. Cloud Strife is different.
I'd put Chocobos and Moogles on the same level, to be honest.
What, just behind Jak?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're like equally recognizable.
Okay. That's fair. I vibe with that. I still think that Chocobos are higher than Moogles, but that's just me. Cloud Strife, iconic.
Yeah.
For the Western world, maybe the face of JRPGs.
Yeah.
Still
got the most iconic sword in video games.
A character so iconic that we're still talking about him almost 30 years later. And the sad thing is I feel like even if there wasn't a remake, we would still be talking about him because they'd be asking for the remake.
Yeah.
So
he's still the face of Final Fantasy.
Definitely. The only thing I have is, and this is my question once again, where does it lie on the Master Chief Kratos threshold of more or less? Because the JRPG fans, obviously more, but to the normies of the world. Because like I've asked my friends before, they know of Final Fantasy VII. They know that Final Fantasy VII is the iconic Final Fantasy game. But if I was to say, what's this guy's name? They'd probably just go, Final Fantasy VII guy. That's probably what they would go. I think he's more iconic than Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
In my head, because I'm just a Street Fighter hater, I'd put him above Street Fighter.
No, I was also thinking above Street Fighter.
I think he'd be right next to Kratos is where I would put him.
Yeah.
That's where
I think that's fair.
All in agreement?
Yeah.
Right. But we have ranked everybody. Our final question is, well, the first question is, would you like me to swap 3D Pac-Man for 2D Pac-Man for the final list? Would you like me to do that, Cal?
Just so I think it's fine.
Okay, fair enough.
Does anyone have 2D Pac-Man up there would look weird?
That's fine. Do we have any grievances, any final remarks, any... We'll open the court to any final changes. You may put in your case, your defense. Anyone?
I think Crash should move down a tier. He looks weird up there.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of the we like Crash Bandicoot sympathy here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm fine with that. I would also move Sans to top of Pretty Cool instead of in Great. I'd also move Leon, to be honest. I think we have too many in Great, personally. Whereas, like, Ratchet and Clank is in the mod... Like, Ratchet and Clank is in, like, the modern zeitgeist, because it was, like, they've had a PS5 game. It's like, Leon is, as well. Sans, I feel like, could be moved down to pretty cool. But I don't know. How you guys feel about that?
I think that makes sense.
Hunter?
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel I'd also be fine with. I like bashing the Rabbids, dude. I'd be fine with moving Rabbids to top of there, all right. Because I don't like the idea of calling Rabbids pretty cool, quote unquote. But that's just me.
Yeah, that makes sense because they aren't cool. They're aggravating.
There we go then. That's okay. Any others? Any final?
The rest of this look. I still think Hayabusa's way too low.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why would
There's no way Hayabusa goes above, like...
He doesn't pass the Diddy Kong threshold, I'm telling you that right now. He don't pass the Diddy Kong threshold.
Ninja Gaiden's not more iconic than Castlevania either, so like, by virtue of being from the series right next to him...
I'm willing to move the Chocobo and the Moogle down to the bottom of there, all right?
I can't explain it.
It's because he shouldn't have been included.
Oh. Yeah, you're right.
I'm perfectly fine with moving the Moogle and the Chocobo to the right so that the Castlevania and the Ninja Gaiden goes in the middle of there, all right? If that makes you feel any better. But I do really think, from a normie territory, more people know who Diddy Kong and Jak and Daxter are than Ninja Gaiden guy. I genuinely still believe that. because I've already forgotten his name again, and we've said it 6 million times. I know it's Ryu something. Can't remember the second half still.
Hayabusa.
I just know him as Ninja Gaiden guy.
Yeah.
Are we in favor of moving them up, or are we leaving them at the bottom if they're all right?
I think he's fine where he is.
Yeah.
Hunter real okay then. Is that it then? Are we locked in?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think I've got much more for anyone else here.
Okay.
That looks good to me.
Well, there we go. We're locked in, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. This is the ultimate gaming icon tier list, dude. Mascot tier list. At the top, we have in God tier Pikachu, Mario, Steve, Sonic, Pac-Man. Still stand by that. Fucking Pac-Man needs to be fucking down there, but that's what I'm saying. Fuck you, Pac-Man, you little shit. In great, Crash Bandicoot, Donkey Kong, Link. I feel bad about. I feel weird about that.
What?
I just feel
Link?
weird. I feel weird about Link. I do feel weird about Link.
Too
Now that
low?
now that Crash and Donkey Kong are on the same level, now that I'm seeing Crash along with Donkey Kong and Link, I feel like Link should be at the top.
Top of the
Top of
great tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see
makes
that.
sense.
Just with Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, you know, that like fucking selling 6 bajillion units. Like there you go. That feels better to me. Thank you. Top of great, Link, then Crash, then Donkey Kong, then the slime from Dragon Quest, then Luigi from Luigi's Mansion. And only Luigi's Mansion, not from anything else. Yoshi from everyone's favourite game, Yoshi's Woolly World, only that game, not anything else. Kirby, Master Chief, Kratos, Cloud Strife, Ryu from Street Fighter, Ratchet and Clank, Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil. Top, pretty cool tier. We have the top, Sans Undertale from Undertale, Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, Lara Croft from Tomb Raider, Spyro the Dragon, The Angry Birds, Sackboy from Little Big Planet, Samus Aran from Metroid, Cuphead from, you guessed it, Cuphead, Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic the Hedgehog movie 3 coming out in theaters December, played by Keanu Reeves, right guys? We can dream. Rayman.
Has that not been announced yet?
No, we don't know who's voicing Shadow still. Rayman as
Cool.
Rayman. Sly Cooper at the top, pretty cool. Is that 100% a biased pick? Yes, shut the fuck up. Top of there, all right. Rabbids from Rabbids. Vault Boy from Fallout. Banjo and Kazooie from Smash Bros. Captain Falcon from Smash Bros. Mega Man from Smash Bros. Fox McCloud from Smash Bros. Diddy Kong from Hell. Jak and Daxter from Jak and Daxter. The Chocobo and the Moogles from Final Fantasy. Simon Belmont from Castlevania. And Ryu from Ninja
Hayabusa.
Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden.
I knew it.
Obscure, Top of Obscure, Shovel Knight, Shantae, Bomberman, Parappa the Rappa, Klonoa, Gex, and Conker. Literally who we have Croc and Glover, and then finally in the bottom, the lowest of the low, Blinx the Cat, the star from fucking the Genesis, and the penguin that I've forgotten where that's from. Wonderful. What a tier list, ladies and gentlemen. Some might say the ultimate tier list. I think we nailed that. Absolutely nailed it.
Hell
no
yeah.
complaints. And can you believe it? It only took us 2 hours to come to that conclusion. That was definitely a good use of everyone's time. There we go. I have no further comments, to be honest. I have no further comments other than if we have got something wrong, shut up. You're wrong. We're right.
I mean, if we
Get
got
a
something
grip.
wrong, I wouldn't be shocked
right,
if
not you.
I wouldn't be shocked if I see this, when it comes out, and be like, "What were we thinking?"
Oh, 100%. I still stand by it. The Diddy Kong threshold is real, and I will now be using that in my daily life.
Ethan's just gonna meet people, and he's gonna be like, "Do they pass the Diddy Kong threshold?"
Thinking about people at my work.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just gonna use that as an excuse whenever cause I have a friend who's a big Jak and Daxter fan,
Not in
and every single time,
but
every time he's gonna try and say to me that he loves it, Jak and Daxter, I'm like, sorry mate, it doesn't pass the Diddy Kong threshold. You know what I mean? Like, just you have to be there. Anyway, that's it for this week's podcast. Next week, who knows what we're doing? No clue. Video games are still not here, ladies and gentlemen. You'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, links are on screen right now if you want to go and follow us on Twitter and keep up to date with everything we do outside of the podcast. We have got games coming out at the end of this month. We've got Stellar Blade, which I'm sure is going to be a wonderful conversation, and definitely not having anything else happening regarding that.
Yeah.
And then what's the other game that's out, Hunter?
Another Crab's Treasure.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have, isn't Zao out this month?
Tales of
think so.
Kanzera?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tales of Kanzera I think is also out this month. So there's games. We've got games. We'll be
Yeah.
playing them.
Just gotta wait a little bit.
Just gotta wait a little bit. And
Until
then
the
we'll
real
be...
drought.
I'm telling you, dude. We just got a little bit to wait, and then we'll be
It's
rolling
gonna
into
be a
Key
dry
3,
summer.
where we're gonna all be playing the Elden Ring DLC, right, guys? That's what I
I'll be
thought.
playing Elden Ring.
Oh, that'll be fun. That'd be really funny if we play the DLC while you play the base game, and we'll see if any impressions change along the way. That'd be interesting. But that's how desperate we are, ladies and gentlemen. I might go back to Elden Ring. That's how desperate I am. Anyway, we're done. We're done. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next time for another thrilling edition of padding until we have video games out. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.